Hi, everybody, and welcome to the Monday Moohead Radio Show. There's got to be a morning after. What seems like the Poseidon adventure for the Cleveland Browns continues right into Monday. And I'd like to tell you that things are getting a whole lot better, but I can't tell you that. But what I can tell you is that people will blame whomever they feel they want to blame, put themselves on social media, and that's how they go about doing things. Me, on the other hand, I just kind of look at the team as a whole rather than looking at an individual. And I try to put together and piece together some examples of what I was explaining in the post-game show yesterday about a team that loses its mojo completely because the ownership and the environment that they're in consistently drags them down. And that's what we have with Jimmy Haslam. That's what we have with the Cleveland Browns. Before we get into any of this, I wanted to start out the program with all due respect to Dikembe Mutombo, who passed away at the young age of 58 of brain cancer. I really feel bad about this. Helped a lot of people in his home country, and a real character, and a solid defensive basketball player. We're going to bring Bronk into this thing now. Hi, Bronk.
Boo. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. I just don't understand what my. There we go. All right, my studio is acting a little funny there. So I always start out with Joe with passes. Dikembe Mutombo, unfortunately, was and Houston Rockets player and Hall of Fame center, really known for his defense and his finger wag whenever he rejected people at the rim. He's too damn young. That's all I really have to say about that.
Well, anybody younger than us is too damn young, really, I think.
Yeah, I mean, that's just an unfortunate thing. Now I want to start really what should be a very short program today, direct, blunt, and explain to people what I've been seeing and why I've been saying the things I'm saying. The good news that Nick Chubb is expected to return to practice on Wednesday from his major knee reconstruction surgery, according to Kevin Stefanski. And, you know, I sit and look at this with some degree of awe that he's even trying this.
Yeah.
And I can't help but think that there's not a happy ending to this.
Well, Gale Sayers didn't have quite a severe injury, and he, that killed him. So
yeah, I mean, they've come a long way in the way they can do reconstructions, but still, it's a remarkable thing that he's trying to do. With that said, he is the heart and soul of the Cleveland Browns team. He is the example of how hard work can make you go from good to being great.
To a Hall of Famer. Yeah.
Yeah. Nobody questions his work ethic.
No one questions him about anything, really.
No.
His character, anything.
Consummate professional in all respects. And Cleveland, Jimmy Haslam doesn't deserve him. City of Cleveland deserves him.
We don't deserve him. We should let him go to a contender for a bunch of draft picks and try again.
Yeah. So, in the same breath that I'm talking about this, I want to share a screen with everybody.
Okay.
And
I'll let you know if you can see it.
It's the polar opposite, I guess you could say, of Nick Chubb. And we're going to try to get this done, share the screen, and
I have an idea what it might be, but I'm not going to spoil it.
Oh, right. No spoilers. All right. We're sharing this now.
Wow.
Scott Petrick.
I don't know anything about this.
All right. This is what I call the polar opposite of Nick Chubb. I want to point out before I play this, and this is right from today's pressers. Before I play this, I want to say that game 3, not yesterday's game, but the week before, came down to a significant play in which a bunch of racists and bigots, and I don't give a damn how many people watch the fucking program anymore. I don't care, because the truth is the truth, and it always stands tall. We're going to blame Deshaun Watson for a play in which Akins, the tight end, ran a peel off. Afterwards, after the game, Watson said that he was a decoy on the play and that the play was designed to go over the middle at a slant. And that would have been to Jerry Jeudy.
Wow. When
you watch the footage, Jerry Jeudy never runs and gets into a pattern. He just stops. That's what created the situation that made Deshaun Watson have to try to scramble to his left and get tackled.
Killed. Yeah, right? Get killed. Yeah.
So today, Jerry Jeudy picks a very interesting day to tell us something. Are we ready?
Okay, go for it.
Here we go. Got to listen closely because he doesn't talk too loud.
I'll turn it up.
Yes, there were some plays out there. Last week I felt like I was kind of tired, so this week I'm just going to probably run a little bit more after practice, and just make sure I get my conditioning in, because I was kind of fatigued on certain plays there were some plays out there.
All right. I'm going to turn this up. I'm going to see how loud did that come through to you?
I had to crank my volume up on my speaker.
I'm going to crank mine up if I can here, because to get my output way, way up on this.
Well, just everyone turn up your sound, man. It's, I can do it. You guys can do it.
Yeah. Well, but I want everybody to hear this because it's well worth it.
Yes. There were some plays out there. Last week I felt like I was kind of tired, so this week I'm just going to probably run a little bit more after practice, and just make sure I get my conditioning in, because I was kind of fatigued on certain plays there were some plays out there. Last week I felt like I was kind of tired, so this week I'm just going to probably run a little bit more after practice, and just make sure I get my conditioning in.
He's tired at the end of games because his conditioning isn't good.
Probably run a bit more after practice. That's not pro. That's not pro. That's not a pro way to go about your life. That is just absolute shit. If you want to be elite at something, you have to do more than the basic minimum. God damn it.
I know.
What a pussy.
It's absolutely
That's
incredible.
Outrageous. That I did not know that. I did not see that before. That is just, the guy's a puss.
And what I can tell you is this. This is the player that, sight unseen, Jimmy Haslam and his front office gave a 3-year extension to without seeing him play for the Cleveland Browns. He's here for 3 more years. He's fully extended. So look at this dumb son of a bitch. He's good. He feels lazy. totally at ease, saying, no, I'm not running out things at the end of games. I'm tired. I'm so tired.
Yeah, well, we're all tired, but we're not paid millions to, put half-ass effort out there when there's lives at stake.
I'm going to run around a little bit after practice and try to get my conditioning up.
Oh, man. Imagine if Frank Shorter did that for his marathon practice. He'd been dead out in the street at the 20-mile mark.
Well,
that's just pathetic.
Even more significant than that, Bronk, is you have a guy who is paid now forever for 3 years.
For a lot more money than a lot of the other fuckers that are working
never did shit in Denver. People wondered, why are we getting this guy?
And Alabama, he never did shit there really for an Alabama player.
Underachiever, and the reason he's an underachiever is he doesn't work hard.
He doesn't try, yeah.
Now, I want to point something else out as well, because what we're seeing from this guy is he disappears as the game goes on because he's tired.
Yeah, he's tired.
And this is my other point. Ron Shane hits the nail on the head.
Yeah, well, they lie, everyone who says they're battling.
Yeah. If
They're
you
lying to
have
you.
a head coach who tolerates this,
Then anything goes, man.
then the head coach isn't making the calls, the front office, Dee Podesta, and Jimmy Haslam are, because guy says this, he sits on his ass. If I'm the coach, it's like, I'll tell you what, we're going to deactivate you and you can get your conditioning up. You can work on that.
Wow, that's so insulting to the players that are trying. I mean, they should be insulted. They should go out and fucking beat them up after that news conference. That's
hear
outrageous.
The bullshit from the head coach and everybody on down that, but we know they're not trying. Yeah. We know they're not trying. And I keep repeating myself over and over again. The effort and the focus isn't there.
Wow.
And you know what the problem is, Jay? The problem is we bring in bad people to begin with. Why in the world would you extend this guy for 3 years before you ever saw him play a game for you? And now look at him. He has no fear to stand in front of the press.
That's amazing. That is so amazing. He's publicly saying that to the entire fucking world because everybody around the world can watch that. He's saying that. That's just, I can't. We're in the wrong lifetime, man. We should go back to the 60s when people, had to try and have to do summer. There were Browns back in the 60s that had summer jobs painting houses because they didn't make enough money playing for the Browns, and they had to take jobs in the summer and still tried their ass off at training camp and got hurt. And, it was a more violent game back then. That's ridiculous.
Well, I mean, the coaches lost the team, and the team
never had it, I don't think.
Has lost its way, and it's not just one side of the ball, it's two sides of the ball. And now I'm going to say something else.
Okay.
Because the focus has been on one player unfairly because he made a ridiculous mistake.
He made very bad personal decisions and got caught out.
Mistakes.
Very bad. I mean, you can't.
I would never defend what he did in the context he did it any more than I would defend the women who allowed themselves to be put in that situation. I don't agree with anybody. I don't agree with the attorneys. I don't agree with anybody in the whole equation. All right.
We've heard hours and hours and hours about this. Yeah.
Right. So what I can tell you is this. Yesterday's game, the interception was Amari Cooper. All right.
Yeah.
Totally. Amari Cooper dropping passes again. Amari Cooper, who is not happy in Cleveland because he was going to be traded because the front office leaked the information out, and why they would trade for Brandon Ayuk, who is not even playing significant time and plays.
He's no fucking star, is he really?
That's exactly the kind of guy we'd go for, though.
A
lot of speed, no hands. Can't run a pattern. He could just run down the field.
Yeah,
I mean, and there's nothing wrong with that if you have 2 or 3 other receivers who are finely tuned machines who run good patterns. And this guy could blow by you. So if you take a step in the wrong direction, man, he's past you. He's gone.
You know what? Fucking hell, Hollywood Higgins would be number 1 receiver on this team at the moment if he was still playing. I mean, they're absolutely awful. Yeah,
it's remarkable. And, Art Jones, he's not 100% of the problem. The problem is the front office and the owner who are bringing in substandard players. Now, from Stefanski's perspective, as far as where he fits into all this mess, is that he can't get out of his own head.
Yeah,
Right.
and he's trying to look good, as good as he could possibly look. He's a bit like Bickerstaff in that regard,
Yeah, I mean, and it's got nothing to do with him being from the Ivy League or any of that. And I don't subscribe to people who go to certain colleges being smarter or academically better or more successful in life. I don't go that
Be
direction.
more privileged, but anyway,
But
that's another topic.
what he is a person who's lost in his own head, and he just can't. It's like a person who can't take any risk whatsoever. He's like somebody. What do they call people who are afraid to leave their own house?
Agoraphobic or agoraphobic.
Agoraphobia. He's like an agoraphobe in his head.
Yeah.
He can't get out of there. And he's afraid of every little thing. I mean, everything that you do as a head coach, every decision that you make is going to come under question. And
scrutinized, yes. If you're going to have a profession that's scrutinized every fucking single minute that you're out there doing it, you got to be able to react to that and adapt and change and improve and get better. And he don't.
Well, the thing is, he is what he is, and he obviously he lost the game at the critical moment of the game.
Yep.
What we also heard in the press conference today was that, in fact, the final play that came in, that according to this guy, Jerry Jeudy, that the coverage was completely messed up.
Wow.
That the defense got into the wrong lineup, and that's what resulted in Watson going to his left. People were lined up wrong, and it was why I saw what we were to find that was Akins breaking for the end zone open momentarily. That would have been the go-to. But just like the Jerry Jeudy play from the week before, where he was too tired to run and Akins was wide open, that was not the primary read on the play. And we don't have enough time back there of pass protection to go to a second and third read.
No, I mean, Patrick Mahomes can look at all four of his targets, and still have time to run around and do shit and score. And even they only got 17 points yesterday. So
I'll tell you something else. Patrick Mahomes, if you looked at every play that was a pass play, misses open receivers downfield
all the time.
All the time.
All the fucking time.
I mean, you can't simultaneously look at the whole field, folks. I mean, you have a progression. That's why they call it a progression. You're going 1, 2, 3. And the people like, Brady, who are really great, they can do
Montana,
those. They go through the progression through ultimately quickly.
And Marino.
Yeah. There are people who just could read real quick.
But they're once in a generation. You got your Montanas, Marinos, and Brady's, and they're the one guy for their generation. Yeah. And that's it. Everybody else is normal. Even Birdie had to go through progressions, although he would know it in his head and still knows it.
Yeah. I mean, there is a synaptic gift to this. You can have the best arm in the world like Jamarcus Russell, but if you can't do progressions, you're not going to be a good quarterback. So, I mean, it just works that way. So if you say, well, that guy was open and that wasn't the primary read, and you're playing behind Nick, I can snap the ball right into the pit of your stomach when you're not looking, Harris. I mean,
God.
You can't, and Nick Harris cost this team twice. I'm going to say the hold was a Mickey Mouse holding call, and that was intervention of the league.
Yeah, that was clearly a league call.
But it was a perfect moment again where Deontay Foreman lined up in the wrong position. And right as Watson was looking at him saying, get behind me, I guess it's a hell of a lot easier to get the Instagram whores to do that than it is your players, because Deontay Foreman didn't move a muscle.
I mean, I'm starting to really feel sorry for Watson because he's working with such fucking idiots on the field and no one's getting coached up. And he's the one trying to put it all together and he's taking all the heat. And it's not really fucking fair for him, but there you go.
Yeah. So right off the bat, what we're looking at is a situation where they were trying to give us the game. The Raiders tried in every way they could. They are
fucking awful.
Terrible.
Jesus,
and
they're a terrible team.
And
they
right down to the last coverage, they even botched that, and we couldn't. But we can't get separation. Our primary read is acknowledging to the world that he doesn't run the patterns out because he's too tired.
And he's supposed to be our number one receiver, joint number one.
Unbelievable.
Pathetic.
Unbelievable.
Well, I mean, I keep because I'm living here, I keep bringing up comparisons to England a lot. A bit like you and your radio companies, but the Browns right now, if Big Lurker is out there in the chat, the Browns right now are in relegation form. This team is circling the drain. It's heading straight for the toilet. And Nick Chubb's not going to help it. It is going to a 4-win, 3-win season. And it's happening too fast for anybody to do anything about it. Particularly this ownership. The owner needs to go. Barry needs to go. Podesta needs to go. The scouting staff needs to go. And then whoever comes in can see where they want Stefanski or not. That's where I'm at on this thing, because we're in the toilet and we're circling the drain.
Yeah, at least we have D Podesta. We can always fall back on that. I wanted to share another headline with you, and everything old is new again. And I want to point out that this team is really exactly where they were with Hugh Jackson. All right.
Yes.
This is reliving itself all over again. All right.
Yep.
Now, look at this headline. You're not going to believe this. You're going to be doing the time warp with the Rocky Horror Picture Show when you see this. All right. Here we go. We're going to see if we can get this thing. Come on, share the screen. All right. All right, here we go. You ready for the headline?
I'm ready.
There it is.
Oh, yeah, I did sort of see this before, and I just went, oh, no, I'm not reading that. I mean, what, is he fucking related to OBJ's dad or something? God damn it. Make these people go away.
When you have low character people, they come from low character families. They don't do shit. They don't perform, and they create strife.
That's terrible.
And, basically, if you're looking through.
Oh, I don't even want to read that. Oh.
Yeah, well, again, he went after, of course, Deshaun Watson, because that's the easy thing to do.
Well, that's the pussy thing to do, too.
Elijah Moore saw only one target, and that was an 11-yard reception. All right. Here's what his father said. One target the entire game? Make it make sense. 95% open all the time. Shaking my head.
And you know what? The media has a part to play in this shit, publishing this crap. They didn't used to publish all this crap like they do the past 5-10 years. This used to never come to light before. So
it's really remarkable.
I'm just annoyed today, aren't I?
Well, I think everybody is. And when you see these same things, when a team is lost,
it's very lost.
And every problem child comes out of the woodwork.
Yeah.
Right. And it's one of the reasons why I don't think that Baker Mayfield will ever learn, because you shot his mouth off about Brady. I don't know if you saw that.
No, what did he do now?
Why would Baker Mayfield say something negative about Tom Brady in the city?
He's an idiot.
because
where he won a
just,
Super Bowl. Oh God.
it's ridiculous.
I mean, why were they even playing that game with the fucking hurricane that just rammed through that whole area? I mean,
basically what Baker Mayfield said was that Tampa brought me in to be me. All right. But when Tom Brady was here, he took things so seriously, and everybody was really depressed and down, and because he was so hard on him, and this and that and this. But they brought me in to be me.
no, they didn't.
That's the Hall of Fame quarterback he's talking about.
That's a ridiculous comment.
In the town that he played in.
Wow.
And you see, and Mayfield, was part of the problem in the Hugh Jackson
part of the
situation.
problem everywhere he was. I mean, he's not Carolina. He wasn't at the fucking St. Louis Rams
he
or whatever
can't
they are.
stand prosperity. He's got a big fucking mouth.
Yeah.
And he'll be good every other game for you, but it's a problem.
Wow.
That's
just. Can I change the topic very slightly, very
sure.
briefly? How is your place down in Florida and all that? I mean, did you hear from it?
Yeah, no problems there. The problems really started up north in Tampa, which is about 60 miles north of us, and then from there it got worse as it went up into the Panhandle.
Well, they're saying here that there's people still missing, like hundreds of people missing. Now, if you're still missing now, you're dead, basically. That's how I view that. So,
yeah, that's a real likelihood. And when I saw the flooding, I have a friend up in outside of Greenville, South Carolina.
Right, yeah, you would.
And my God, he showed me a picture of the golf course that's in his general neighborhood underwater.
Yeah, I mean, if you're up in the mountains, you're going to get mudslides and bridges falling out and roads fucking washing away.
Well, they're in the valley down there in Greenville, and when we lived there, we were up in the foothills up on Glassy Mountain, which is outside of Landrum. But that if there is that much rainfall and that much damage all the way up into South Carolina, you can imagine how bad it was. It never came, that storm came only within 100 miles of the coast when it went by Tampa, and it did all this damage.
Yeah, it was
100 miles away.
Yeah, it was not a direct hit by any means, was it?
I mean, just yeah.
I just want to find out about that because we get our media like you guys get your media, and I just want to know what's real and what isn't.
So
anyway.
So here's my conclusion. And it's like I say, I can't be a fan of a team that doesn't try.
Yeah, we're in the we're in the toilet.
Yeah, I can't get excited. Yes, I want them to win because I grew up in Northeast Ohio, but this is going back to a bad time, and it's going to be like this for a long, long time. And I don't have the energy to devote all of my podcast to a group of people. I mean, there's Myles Garrett out there playing his ass off, and he's crippled.
Yeah,
and there's Jerry Jeudy, who's Jerry Judy's completely healthy, and he's not running.
I mean, if I were Myles Garrett, I'd fucking take my helmet off and fucking start smashing him with a helmet. So there you go. I mean, I just, what is wrong with it? The whole ownership's got to go. The whole front office has got to go.
But it's not going to.
It's not going to. But so if they don't go, we've got 5 to 10 years more of this shit yet again, and we're going to be way too old to enjoy it once we ever do get back into the playoffs.
The point is that there are a lot of younger fans, and I'm not going to say that the younger fans watch this podcast because they don't. Because they've
got their own things to watch, which is fair enough. We had our own things to watch.
That's right.
Their age.
That's right.
That's not criticism.
If they want to wait around, it's their life. They can wait around for the team to get better, and it's going to be another 5 or 10 years. All right.
Yeah. Absolutely minimal.
You'll get 1 or 2 decent seasons, then 7 bad seasons.
Yeah.
And that's the way it's been during the whole time that this podcast has been on the air. All right. Just so I speak from the past with knowledge of what bad ownership means. But hey, if you're up to it, that's cool. We were a 2. I was at one time. I'm just not anymore.
Yeah.
So
was I.
I've set up this whole podcast to be like the Monday day after show, the Friday pregame show, and then the halftime and postgame shows.
Yeah, but why should you care more than the fucking players? Why should I care more than the fucking players?
That's why I'm not doing it anymore.
This is it. Yeah.
I'm not doing it no more. Well, what I do is I'll be there on game day and I'll be having fun talking about it. And I'm going to do regular shows on Monday and Friday. And I don't care if the listenership goes to 0. I don't care. I really, honest to God, don't care because they don't care.
You got your core base, which is me, Rick, and Amsterdam, and Keith, and a few other people. And what you could do is just make it private and not post it up, and just like send out to subscribers that you're on, and you don't even have to fucking post the fucking thing up on YouTube if you don't want to. Yeah. Well, that's another option you have. You keep doing it, but not have it be public.
What can I say that will last an hour every Monday and every Friday?
Well, there isn't anything to say
when they're not trying.
There is
when the team is so disenfranchised, they're not trying, and that the head coach is telling a bunch of press people, "Well, we battled out there."
Well,
and you're shaking your head. It's like you don't know what battling is if you think that's battling. I mean, that giving up that many rushing yards to the Raiders, unbelievable. 2 rookie running backs who never played in the NFL, didn't know which way to run, and a rookie center, and we could not exploit them and even get into the backfield.
Fucking Gardner, fucking Minshew. I mean, my Lord.
Well, Minshew didn't have a big game. The running game is what killed us. And again, it's always something. But where there's a lack of effort, it will always be something. It will be the defensive line going to sleep and giving up a lot of yardage. Yeah. And this is what we saw under Hugh Jackson, by the way. If you remember when Mixon would end up getting 180 yards rushing for the Bengals, and it was a regular thing that kept happening to the Browns. So that would be one thing. Another thing are broken plays in the secondary, and we've been seeing that again. Right, but we're seeing that again now, where guys are playing 10 yards off receivers or forgetting to cover and not knowing what their coverage scheme is. All of these things are coming back to roost, and that's if you want to cheer for it, that's great. I'm not cheering for it. The only thing I'm cheering for is change, and that's not going to happen. There's nothing I can say, and I can drone on about it, but it's not going to change.
Yeah, let's make the Browns great again. God damn it.
Yeah, it's an unfortunate thing. And, all these takeaways of the game, the Browns defense faltered after the opening drive. It's like the Browns defense has faltered the entire season, and it's different components every time. But you don't get in the backfield if you don't work hard. The team is bereft of spirit. Yeah. And that's what's happening. And it's really obvious.
Yeah.
So, and the exchange between Deshaun Watson and DeJuan Jones.
Okay. Well, let's talk about that then.
Watson, they say he's a quiet guy. Well, he wasn't very quiet when DeJuan Jones got him killed on an important play.
Yeah, not when you get fucked in the ass, you're going to be quiet about it.
But the second time, after he yelled at him, and the interesting thing was, it wasn't just Deshaun Watson yelling at DeJuan Jones. It was Jameis Winston yelling at him, too.
Yeah, because he doesn't want to get killed either.
Well, Jameis Winston was furious with DeJuan Jones because he wasn't even trying.
Yeah.
I mean, there would be one guy rushing inside, one guy rushing outside. He wouldn't pick one.
He didn't know. He didn't know which one. Which way do I go? Which way do I go?
No, he just didn't put out the effort.
Yeah.
But it's the second one that killed the team dead. DeJuan Jones should not be on the field if his knee is that bad.
Yeah, if
all
he's
right?
hurt, fair enough. We both
Shouldn't
agree
be
on
out
that.
there.
He's
But
hurt.
on the important play after, well, you thought to yourself, the big touchdown pass got called back,
Oh, God,
There was
yeah.
another one where Amari Cooper was wide open downfield.
Yep.
And instead of going to the middle of the field, the ball was thrown out of bounds. And when you looked at the play, DeJuan Jones didn't block his man again. And
Yep.
Watson got hit as he threw, and the ball went in the wrong direction. That's a touchdown.
Basically, we need 7 guys up there blocking 4 fuckers. Just to make sure that all 4 of those guys are being blocked. It's pathetic. It's so bad. It's just.
And, it's true, Ams. It's true. The scripted plays, the team seems to practice. The rest, no.
It's just
doesn't look
fucking
like they
ad-lib.
practice the playbook at all.
Yeah, they don't have the fucking music. It's like they're trying to play Beethoven's Fifth Symphony, and they only got the first movement. And they're trying to ad-lib their way through the second, third, and fourth, without music. That's how bad it looks. Yeah.
And then Captain Shadow, the best time when the Browns weren't even in the league, because you got sick of it, and Bill Belichick fucking Bernie Kosar over and the whole 9 yards. The whole way it ended with Art Modell, and then the shit wagon they gave us when they came back.
Yeah,
a piece of shit team that was just leftover turds from the other teams of the league.
They should have waited another 2 years and given us a proper management structure and all that. That's been well. I'm just looking at
the fact of the matter is that
looking at the Freudian slip in the chat room. Jesus,
what?
Oh, I don't want to spoil it. You have.
Okay. And I'm just still on Keith here from 5:35 2 minutes ago. What do people expect of Watson? You know what the story is there. I don't have to say that again. Hello, truth shall set you free. You're in the right place if you're looking for the truth. If you're looking for a bunch of bullshit, you can go to cleveland.com. You can go to a bunch of other podcasts.
Or you turn on your favorite news broadcast, your favorite 24-hour news channel if you want a bunch of shit. Yeah.
Ouch.
Yeah, yeah, you spotted it. There you go. I
so
wasn't going to say it.
So what? This is what I get? I put my kosher ass on the air, and this is what I get?
Wow. They are adjacent, sort of, on the keyboard.
Yeah, they are.
Yeah, they are adjacent on the keyboard. In his defense, but damn, that's close.
Oh, God almighty. Well,
See,
hey, Kathy, how you doing?
See, there is a good argument to take this private, your show, and not post it publicly. There is a good argument for that.
What I can say is when the players start yelling at each other, it's just everyone's turned against each other.
Yeah, that's relegation form. I'll say it again. You're going in the toilet.
And I was glad that Jameis Winston got into DeJuan Jones' face too.
Oh, absolutely! I was like you go on.
Coach won't do it, and obviously Andy Dickinson won't do it.
Yeah. I mean, Callahan, I think, was leaving the sinking ship. I mean, he must have known this was all going to go down this year, and he just
maybe
said, "Fuck it, I'm leaving, man."
And he could be with his son,
Yeah.
who's going to be a short-lived head coach, but he did it. He did it out of love.
Yeah.
And Amsterdam's asked me if I heard from T-Tosh or Renee. No, I've not heard from either one of those two people.
They probably have They probably have ankle bracelets on. So anyway.
And here's the man who sends me some of these great things as soon as they come out. David Zalewski. Hi, David.
Hello, Moo.
We're angry today, David. I hope you're angry.
No, I mean, I appreciate Dave was one who David sent me the great video that I showed at the beginning of the show of Jerry Judy.
Okay,
Yeah.
because I had not seen that because I'm not on X or whatever it's called.
Well, I didn't send the video directly. I just sent the quote from Mary Kay Cabot.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, and then I ended up looking it up. So I did some work.
Wow. Yeah, you put in that extra conditioning for the show. You ran that extra lap before this. Oh,
And I don't know where is
Andy?
Andy?
I don't know. Andy from Mayberry?
I don't know her.
Andy Garcia?
I died a long time
Time
ago.
ago. Andy
Why
Rooney.
is it people are still
Why
asking
is it?
about me? It's been more than
Andy
60
Richter?
minutes. No, I don't know. Andy, I don't know. Where is Andy Dickinson? Is that who we're talking about? The
Angie
offensive line
Dickinson.
coach? No, he's invisible.
He's more invisible than AVP was, and that's hard to do.
Now, don't give up the ghost, S. Don't do that. It ain't worth that, my man.
Yeah.
No.
And W is close to E on the keyboard, by the way, before people start making fun. Yeah.
His vision is a little bit blurry.
Well, he was probably drunk when he typed that.
Wow.
Be nice.
Be nice.
Yep. And then this.
Okay.
All right. And I'm really fighting an urge.
Uncontrollable urge. It sounds like Devo.
This is the headline. How about a rational discussion about the Browns' Deshaun Watson from Terry Pluto?
You caught me while I had a drink in my mouth. That nearly went up my nose.
We almost had a spit take.
All right. I'm not going to tell the story.
Please don't.
Because it's not
it's
not my place to. There is a reason why I despise Terry Pluto.
Okay.
And it's, believe me, it's not because he is a religious retread who is a serial masturbator. I say that about him because
he admitted it himself.
The pages of his life are stuck together. Okay. And I kind of leave it at that. Okay.
Yeah.
But there is a story, and one day I will tell the story because it's not in my best interest to tell the story.
You do it in your own time.
He did something in his career in Cleveland.
Wow.
That was so despicable.
Wow.
So despicable. And it defies. It makes Jerry Judy's admission seem, that's completely plausible. Well, we can go along with that. One day. Wow. And that day, I hope that day never comes. But if the day does come, I'm going to tell the story. And I'm going to blow the whistle on this guy once and for all. He is one of the worst human beings that are walking the planet for what he did. And he knows damn well what he did. Unbelievable. Yeah, and that, like he's going to be the voice of reason. Right. Thank you so much for that. Before we get out of here, Jared Allen, now that his basketball season, decides that he's going to start talking about that injury to his rib and why he didn't play in the playoffs. And I'm like, you know what this is like? It's like watching a fucking Netflix series.
Yeah.
It's like, okay, there's going to be season 3. You got to wait for it. We're not going to release season 3 until there's a cliffhanger involved. So you're not going to understand who lived and who died or what the situation is.
Well, a bit like Gangs of London or something. Yeah.
Then there's a show like The Looker. Now, The Looker was a program that was a Netflix program or The Watcher. It might have been one of those two, The Looker or The Watcher. And it had season 1, and they kept saying season 2 is coming, and it never came. I mean, and even Terry Pluto can do that.
Bit like Tony the Calf.
Yeah.
That's another topic.
It's for another time. But yeah, so now here we are at season 3. Jared Allen is now ready to talk about why he failed in season 2, when in season 2 he was addressing why he failed the playoffs in season 1. And on this goes.
It's too late for all that. He just needs to get better. He needs to condition after
It's
practice.
too late, baby. Now it's too late.
It's too
Yeah,
late.
what I say is that, look, I know a broken rib is bad news. A rib injury is painful as hell.
Oh,
and
we agree.
He couldn't play. It still doesn't explain why he played like a pussy against the Knicks 2 years ago, and he didn't make an effort to even come back for the playoffs this past year. But let's just say Kenny Atkinson has got a real project on his hands. He's got a 7-foot guy who is the center of this team, although he's not really 7 foot, but
It's
with his
just
fro, he
hair.
is.
Yeah, the hair makes him 7 foot.
So, Kenny Atkinson has a real job in front of him to get this guy motivated. Good luck.
Wow. I don't know, man.
Yeah, and again,
I need something to cheer me up because I'm more angry than usual, aren't I, today? I mean, maybe some Peter Alice or John Madden or something can cheer me up.
I'm not going to do Peter Alice. You know what I'm going to do?
What, James Earl Jones, maybe?
No. Peter Allen. When my baby smiles at me, I go to Rio de Janeiro.
Maybe we could do Jim Brown doing the girl from Ipanema.
Yeah, Peter Alice, Peter Allen. What difference does it make?
Well, we can't do the girl from Ipanema because he probably would have beat her up.
That's right.
Well, he did in the song.
He did. He threw her off the balcony.
You weren't here for that.
Yeah, this is old school Moohead here, and probably the finest Moohead moment ever. In my mind. But anyway,
I first discovered you probably around the Hugh Jackson era, to be honest.
Who knows how long ago that was?
That's about 8 years ago now.
Yeah, that was when Mouchel was a normal person.
Well,
yeah. Well, it was a long time ago.
It was, yeah. He was younger anyway, maybe.
Younger and married and living in California and
Junior's T-ball team and all that.
Yeah, that's right.
Junior T-ball team. Now he's like probably driving around in some Camaro.
Good times.
Yeah.
Here's an interesting tidbit for you.
Yes.
I hear news that DirecTV is going to buy Dish Network.
Wow, I thought they already did.
Well, we talk about compounding problems. They're going all in on this satellite dish thing, aren't they?
Yep.
Yeah.
Oh my God, that's horrible. Oh,
yeah.
So that you think it's only happening in Cleveland?
Yep.
The Jets. Woody Johnson.
Oh God, he's horrible.
So we're going to bring in a 41-year-old quarterback, right? And he's going to get injured.
He's worse than Haslam. God damn it, isn't he?
Well, I mean,
Woody's Johnson.
Yeah, right. What I say is it's also predictable, and the coach Robert Saleh, after the game they lost. And they couldn't put points on the board.
No.
And he said the Jets and Aaron Rodgers to push the envelope with cadence. But there's a reason why. Right after the game, Saleh basically threw Aaron Rodgers under the bus.
Wow. What did he do?
He's 5 false starts in their 10-9 loss to the Broncos, all right?
Wow.
Penalty filled, and he blamed Aaron Rodgers' cadence.
Wow.
Now, get this. Aaron Rodgers will be in the Hall of Fame. He's going to be in 2 Hall of Fames, a Pro Football Hall of Fame and the Hall of Fame of conspiracy theorists. So he will be in 2 Hall of Fames. But he's been a great football player through his years. And I'm not going to tell you that he was a great host on Jeopardy, but he was a great quarterback. So give him his just desserts as far as being a really great quarterback.
Yeah.
And I never saw the Green Bay Packers jumping off sides left and right. But it takes playing around a bunch of morons who are bad players who were drafted by lousy management and ownership to even bring a Hall of Fame career to a screeching halt so that they can only score 9 points with him on the
9
field
points.
because they're jumping all over the place like Mexican jumping beans. Oh, my God. And the thing about his cadence is that he's famous for making the other team jump off sides.
Correct, because that's why he gets free plays and throws the ball and gets touchdowns. That's what
Correct.
he's known for, is getting free plays and getting touchdown passes off of that. He's got some sort of world record for that.
He made his own guys jump off sides.
Yeah, he's so good at it. His own team was spooked.
And this is what Saleh said right after the game. We've got to figure it out, whether or not we're good enough or ready to handle all this cadence.
Wow,
You're not good enough.
The bus.
That's right. Change the guy who's the Hall of Fame player to adjust to the people who won't be around in a year or
Idiots,
two.
yeah.
Brilliant.
Everyone knew going into the season Saleh was essentially.
Go ahead.
Well, everyone knew Saleh was kind of just on the fence this year anyway.
Well, I think you should do Gomer Pyle or Sergeant Carter for Amsterdam. Here, the latest commentary.
Golly,
Sergeant.
Yeah, and then every other episode they had him singing with this big baritone voice. And it's like, yeah. Well, actually, he and Peter Allen probably knew one another.
Correct.
Biblically.
Yeah, very, very butt buddies, yes.
Mm. So,
golly.
The last things I have to say are Shaq Thompson for the Panthers, gone again after a season-ending injury, 2 years in a row now. Lucky guy. He doesn't have to face the rest of the season with the Panthers.
Get CTE for playing 17 games.
The New York Mets are in the playoffs thanks to a ninth-inning home run by Francisco Lindor. Nice to see that Frankie's gotten it going in New York. Good for him. That assures their playoff clinch. And now the game 2 is Atlanta and playing the Mets in game 2.
Whether Atlanta or the Cardinals get in or whatever, the Phoenix, whatever I don't know.
And I am not sure. I should just go and check out. Atlanta is winning 1-0 in the bottom of the 4th. All right. But Chris Sale, who is their 18-3 pitcher, pulled out of the game 2, a must-win game with back spasms, which has been the problem with Chris Sale his whole career, is he's been injury-stricken many times. So keep an eye on that one. But good for Frankie Lindor.
I got a comment about MLB on their website. They've got a listing of all the people up for the MLB Team of the Season, and you look at it and you see that Josh Naylor and Jimenez and Ramirez are one of the nominees. And then you also see that we've got Cade, whatever his name is. I keep thinking Cade York, but the other Cade. and Clase. But we have there's like 40 starting pitchers, and we have no starting pitching listed on the MLB nominees for the team. And that's what's going to kill us.
If you're going to get people on the cheap, though, and you get guys like, we'll see how Cobb, when he comes back from his blister, and we've seen how Boyd has pitched, and he's done a nice job. And, when we've had people, Gavin Williams, he's young, he's inexperienced, but this Andrew Walters that they've brought up, this is the fastest moving prospect since Bartolo Colon. Bartolo started in A ball, and within 2 years was in the bigs.
Yeah, and Sabathia as well was pretty quick.
And Andrew Walters, who nobody talks about, he started out playing in Double-A ball, went up to Triple-A, and after 40 minor league innings is up with the big league team.
Wow.
And has, I think, maybe given up 0 or 1 run in 11 innings pitched.
Wow, that's like nuclear sort of stuff.
Yeah. So
That's
I mean,
crazy.
they picked the right guys to come up and pitch.
Yep,
And yes, it is Cade Smith, of course.
Cade Smith.
Yeah.
I keep thinking Cade York. I can't see.
Great arms, though.
Yeah.
And, you can say about the Dolans being cheap and all this, but,
They have a
know
scouting system and staff that do that sort of shit.
they
Yeah.
know what brings them there.
Yeah.
So they at least know how to draft, which is more than I can say for the
And they
Browns
draft
front
40
office.
pitchers every fucking year. So there you go. Yeah.
So I'm laughing. Yeah, Sergeant Carter had a good cadence.
Yeah, move.
Oh,
Let me ask
God.
this.
Yes.
What do you think would be a better matchup in the ALDS, the Tigers or the Astros? In terms of who Cleveland plays.
Well, I mean, let's be honest about this. We can't beat the Astros.
And the Tigers got really good pitching right now.
Well,
Really good.
I mean, here's the thing. If I had my choice, I would play the Tigers. I know they're hot, but they're not expected. The Astros started out so badly this year. People were like, what the hell happened there? And they've been a house on fire ever since. And they were the best team preseason pick in their division. But it didn't start out that way. But they
still know how to cheat, too. They still know how to cheat and get away with it.
We have a history of losing to the Astros in Houston, in Cleveland, anywhere we play them. I'll take the Tigers any day. Now, somebody explain to me, how is it going to be determined who we play?
There's already brackets up. We play the 3-6 matchup, whoever Astros versus whoever is the 6th team. And then
so we're stuck with the Astros anyway.
Play the 4-5 team.
I saw on the MLB network somebody had us projected to go to the World Series to face the Phillies.
But I mean, there are people who are on drugs too. I mean, my God.
And there's people who are on painkillers. So there you
go. So who are the Astros playing in their 3-game series?
The Tigers.
The Tigers, yeah.
Oh, so that's who it is. So, the Tigers ain't going to beat the Astros. The Astros, you know what? If you watch them play, the Astros don't swing at bad pitches. They foul balls off and keep themselves up. They run up your pitch count. They don't make mental errors. And the Guardians have been making fielding errors in the last couple of weeks of the season. They're not going to beat themselves. They've been there. They've done that. They've cheated and they've won. Okay, so they've done it all. The Tigers haven't done a goddamn thing. All right? Nothing against the Tigers. It's wonderful they made the playoffs. Good for them. But the fact of the matter is, Minnesota handed it to them. Minnesota stopped playing baseball.
They died.
And why they're keeping that manager in Minnesota, which they said, we're keeping him, Rocco Baldelli. Why? But it's all good for me,
Well, I still think the Baltimore Orioles are the best team in the American League, and we'll find out. So,
yeah. So, one last thing before I get out of here, because I'm not prepared to talk about this in any great length, but Cleveland fans have a bug up their ass, whether they're Guardians fans or Cavaliers fans or Browns fans, they have a bug up their ass. All right. Cavaliers fans, the bug that's up their ass is that it isn't just the playoffs, it's the New York Knicks.
Yeah.
And I don't know when the fans are going to stop and realize that the Knicks will always be better because they'll always have players.
Correct.
And now it's Karl Anthony Towns.
Wow.
Every year they come up with something new, something better. And look what the Cavaliers did. They brought in Kenny Atkinson and kept the same roster.
Yeah. We're going backwards.
Well, you're not going forwards. And here are the Knicks. They're all in, man, and they always will be because they're in New York City, baby.
Yep, Madison Square Garden.
Is that a Queen reference? Dead, all dead. That's yeah. Do you know I heard an interesting recording of that, Rick? Because Brian May sang the lead vocal of that from News from the World, the Queen album. I'm talking,
Yep.
albums with old
From
school music, people like me.
1976. Yeah.
But there was a studio version of Freddie Mercury singing that song.
Wow.
So I thought that was interesting. So, yeah, everybody's dead.
Everybody is
could
dead.
be. All right, everybody. Thanks a lot for tuning into this edition of Moohead Radio. You know, I have a good time doing the program, and whether I'm a technical fan or not, I'm still a very critical person, and not just critical to be insulting, but to point things out. I'd like to point things out and just say,
Hey, not insulting for no reason whatsoever. You know.
Yeah, I mean, for me, it's my job just to say, this is what I'm seeing. I may be right. I may be wrong. My Lord, what have I done?
And then afterwards,
Letting the
afterwards
days
you
go
say
by.
I let the water flowing.
Same as it ever
and
was.
afterwards you say, that's the way the cookie crumbles.
Yeah, that's, yes.
Yeah,
All right. Thank you, David. Thank you, Moose Tua.
no problem.
Spit on them Browns.
And everybody who took the time to tune into the program.
Spit on
we'll
them
be back.
Hellstones.
We'll be back again on
I
Friday.
was waiting for the opening on that. I had that prepared already.
Good for you. And we'll be seeing everybody on Friday. Until then, hasta la vista, Pastor Heads. Good night.
Bye.